Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be one of those long kind of videos because I'm turning 29 soon, which feels kind of surreal. Not old, not young, but just in this funny area where you suddenly have a decade of adult life behind you and you're like, hang on a minute, how did that happen? So I thought, okay, before I enter the last year of my 20s, let me reflect on everything this decade has taught me, because my 20s have been intense, messy, chaotic, and transformational. So I moved countries, changed fields multiple times, felt lost, felt found, worked in corporate, built side hustles. Honestly, it's been a beautiful roller coaster. And I want to share 20 lessons I learned in my 20s. The real ones, not the aesthetic ones. The ones that genuinely change how I live, how I work, how I think, and see myself, basically. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's talk for a while. Lesson 1: your 20s are for experimentation, not for perfection. So if there's one message I want to scream into the universe, it's this: your 20s are not meant to look linear or polished. My own journey is the living proof of this. I started with a maths and physics high school diploma because that's what I loved back then, obviously. Then I studied architectural engineering for 1 year and realized I didn't see a future in it, and then I quit. Then I moved to UK, did a business economics foundation year to basically start fresh. Then I went into mechanical engineering and actually finished the degree. Then I started a job as a software engineer, and now I'm working as a full-time data scientist. Like, if that's not the definition of experimentation, I don't know what is. Yet, every step taught me something about myself. Every pivot brought me closer to who I actually am. Your 20s aren't for choosing the right path. They're for choosing a path, walking it, realizing it's not for you, and courageously changing directions. You are not supposed to get it perfect, but you're supposed to explore. Lesson number 2: make decisions faster. It's one of the greatest keys to success. This is one of the best lessons I learned from Tony Robbins. Most people don't fail because they're not talented or smart enough. They fail because they take too long to make a freaking decision. So you want to start a YouTube channel, you wait until you feel ready and perfect. You want to start a new skill, you wait until you've researched every detail. You want to switch jobs, you wait until you are 100% confident in job interviews. But here's the truth: by the time you finally feel ready, the opportunity is already gone. So you don't get good before you start, you get good after you start. So if something keeps coming up in your mind, begin before you feel fully ready or prepared. That's how every good thing in my 20s happened. Lesson number 3: nobody thinks about you as much as you think they do. This was honestly so freeing. We carry this deep fear that people are judging us constantly. Spoiler alert, they aren't. People are too busy with their own stuff, thinking about themselves, their own insecurities, their own worries, their own embarrassing moments from like years ago that nobody remembers. And this includes the internet. Nobody cares if your first YouTube videos are cringy. Nobody cares if your editing is awkward, or your lighting is off, or your camera quality is terrible, or your thumbnails are horrible. I promise you, the only person obsessing over is you. People forget in 5 minutes, and the people who do remember are usually impressed that you even tried. So honestly, post the cringe. Start to think. Be bad at something publicly. It's the quickest way to get good. Lesson number 4: do things for yourself, not for approval. There's a freedom that comes when you stop living for the imaginary audience in your head. In my early 20s, I used to do things because I thought they were impress other people. The degree, the job, the achievements. But when you grow up a bit, you realize none of that matters if you're not enjoying your life. So start doing things simply because they make you happy, even if no one else understands them. Start hobbies that don't look impressive. Wear clothes because you just like them, not because they're trendy. Live your life for you, not for what people might think of me. Because guess what? Most people aren't even thinking about you, okay? So go back to lesson 3. Lesson number 5: take responsibility for your happiness. This one hit me gradually. So no one is responsible for making your life enjoyable except you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your partner, not your manager. Your happiness is your job. And when you finally accept that, you stop waiting, you start creating, you become active in shaping your own life instead of hoping someone else would enter your life and make a magic in your life. Lesson number 6. Independence is scary, but so worth it. Living alone, paying rents, paying bills, supporting yourself financially, it was intimidating at first for me. But independence is one of the most empowering feelings you'll ever experience. You learn discipline, you learn responsibility, you learn confidence because you realize I can handle this life, and that self-trust, it's priceless. Lesson number 7, you're never too old to start again. So there were moments I worried that switching into software engineering too late would set me behind. Same with data science, but honestly, 27, 28, 29, 30, those ages are so young. It's never too late to learn something new. It's never too late to change careers. It's never too late to become good at something. What matters is not your age, it's your willingness. Lesson number 8 is that everyone has their own timeline. So your friend might get married at 23, another friend buys a house at 25, someone else quits everything at 28 and starts a bakery. So there's no single blueprint for adulthood. So this is my advice to you, just live your chapter fully. You're not behind, you're just on your own path and own timeline. Lesson number 9. Slow down. Life is not an emergency. I used to rush everything, even eating. Why was I eating like I was in a competition? Why was I working like someone was chasing me? Life isn't meant to be lived in fast forward. Slow down, eat slower, walk slower, talk slower, be present, loosen your shoulders, breathe. Nothing good comes from rushing through a life you're supposed to enjoy. Lesson number 10. We are already halfway through the video. Okay, life doesn't need to be so serious. We are all heading to the same ending eventually, and that's basically dying. And I don't say that in a dark way, I say it in a freeing way. So if none of us are getting out alive, why are we taking everything so freaking seriously? Like, try things, fail dramatically, laugh at yourself. Let life be light sometimes. You're allowed to play. Lesson number 11. Travel and learning are two of the best investments you can make. I never regretted spending money on traveling or learning, because trips change your perspective. Learning different things expand your skills, and both make you richer in ways that money cannot measure. So choose experiences over things. They stay with you forever. Lesson 12. It's about money, basically. So I advise you to create saving pots. They make adult life easier. So this is a very practical tip, but honestly, it changed everything for me. So having multiple saving pots for travel funds, car fund, emergency fund, property fund, education fund, fun money, travel money, it removes that guilt and brings you clarity and makes your goals feel achievable instead of overwhelming. And it's like giving every dream its own little container to grow in. Lesson 13. Exercise is not a luxury. It's non-negotiable. So this became a huge lesson for me. For years, I treated exercise like something extra, like something I would do when I have extra time. But actually, movement is medicine. It's therapy, it's grounding, it's stress relief, it's longevity. So exercise should be as routine as brushing your teeth, as routine as eating something, eating food. Not for the aesthetics, but for your mental clarity, your future health, and your overall well-being. So your body is your home, so take care of it daily. Lesson 14. Get out of your comfort zone regularly. Every time I stretch myself, moving countries, switching degrees, changing careers, starting a YouTube channel, my life opened up in ways I couldn't plan. Comfort feels safe, but it just keeps you small. Just push one boundary at a time. Say yes to something that scares you in a good way. That's where your next chapter begins. Lesson 15. Not everything you do needs to be monetized. I am naturally a turn everything into a project person. So if I like something, my first thought is, how can I monetize this thing? But I learned it in my late late 20s, some things should exist purely because they make you happy, just purely because of the joy and passion. Not everything has to be productive. Not everything needs to be like having an audience or to have a business model for everything that you do. Some things are just for the joy, so protect those things. Lesson 16. Corporate life is useful, but it shouldn't become your entire identity. So I work as a data scientist and I genuinely enjoy what I do. But I also know that corporate life can consume you if you let it. So corporate is great for learning, getting your finances together, earning money and like saving up money, gaining different skills, building confidence, building relationships with people. But you don't have to treat it like the center of your world. Your job is not your personality. So let your 9 to 5 fund your dreams rather than define your life. Lesson 17. Proximity is power. Who you spend time with determines your future. This is another Tony Robbins lesson. Honestly, one of the most accurate ones. If you're around complainers, you will be one of those people. You will complain all the time. So if you're around people who do nothing, you will be one of those people. But if you're around people who are achieving the things you want, your standards rise automatically. Do you know what I mean? Like you can literally shortcut years of growth just by choosing better rooms, just by choosing better surroundings, who would make your goals feel normal and achievable. Lesson 18. Mindset shapes your reality. Your mindset is the lens through which you experience everything. If you believe you're capable, you take action. If you believe you're unworthy, you shrink. If you believe good things can happen to you, you start noticing opportunities. So your thoughts literally shape your world. So guard your mindset like it's precious, because it is. Lesson number 19. You will outgrow people, places, and past versions of yourself. And it's personal, it's not dramatic, it's natural. Sometimes you evolve faster than your environment. Sometimes your values change. Sometimes the people around you stay the same and you don't stay the same. So it's okay to move forward without guilt. You're allowed to grow. And the last lesson, every time you gain something, you lose something too. And that's the price of growth, basically. So one of the biggest, most emotional lessons I learned in my 20s is this. When you gain something in life, you almost always lose something else. And that's not meant in a dramatic or negative way. It's just a truth about growing up. So, for example, of my own life, when I moved to a new country to study, when I chose a life where I wanted to grow, learn, earn, and become more independent, I guess, I gained so much experiences, so much opportunities. I gained opportunities, educations, freedom, my own income, new experiences, a new identity, a new version of myself. I recognize who I am better. But I also lost something really big. Time with my family. So before I used to see them every day, obviously, because I used to live with them. Then suddenly it became this once a year thing. We went from living together and having everyday moments, small things like eating together, going out together, laughing randomly, to basically compressing all of that into 1 month a year, sometimes even less than that. That's something nobody prepares you for. There's no textbook for the emotional cost of independence. There's no guide for what it actually feels like to build a life far away from the people who raised you. You miss birthdays, you miss random family dinners, you miss the inside jokes, you miss the street that you used to grow up in, you miss your home, you miss your room, you miss the everyday life that's still happening without you. And for the longest time, I used to feel guilty about that. But then I realized it's okay to grieve the things you had to let go of, even if you're proud of where you are now, because that's what life is. It's a constant trade-off, basically. So every choice expands you in one direction and pulls you away from something else. So you gain independence, but you lose closeness to your family. You gain career growth, but you lose time with them. You gain confidence, but you lose the version of you who didn't know any better. You gain new experiences, but you lose old routines, old friends. And honestly, the older I get, the more I realize this is maturity, this is adulthood, this is what it means to build your own path. It's not always clean or perfect, it's not always obvious or easy, but here's the part that brings me peace. What you gain doesn't erase what you lost. They both exist together and they both shape who you are. So missing your family doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. It doesn't. It means you're human. It means you love deeply. It means your life is big enough to hold multiple truths. You can be proud of your independence and wish your family lived next door. You can be grateful for your growth and sad about the distance. Both can be true. And if you're someone who has moved away for work, for education, for a better life, just know that the feeling of missing home doesn't make you weak. It makes you someone who sacrificed comfort for growth. Someone who chose the harder path because you wanted more for yourself. And that's something to be proud of. So the final lesson I learned in my 20s is basically this. Every decision has a cost. Every gain has a loss. And that's okay. That's basically life. You just have to make sure the life you're building is worth what it cost you. And that you honor both sides, what you had to leave behind and what you fought to create. So these were the 20 biggest lessons I learned in my 20s. This decade has been messy, confusing, exciting, painful, beautiful, and I've grown so much as a person, but I'm honestly grateful for every single version of myself that got me here. If you're in your 20s right now and you feel lost or behind or confused, you're not alone. You are exactly where you need to be, I'm telling you. Your 20s are not about perfection, they're about discovery. Thank you so much for listening, and if you want to share one lesson that you've learned in your 20s, please comment it below. I would appreciate your like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!